Welcome viewers to this extraordinary journey of Utsav 2012, the Festival of India, where we had so much fun with food, festivals, shopping, contests, performances, dances, fashion show. We'll take you inside and give you a sneak peek of what happened here really October 6th and 7th at the Santa Clara Convention Center. Let's take you in.
Sunny, tell me a little bit about your collection.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for letting me talk to you. And as far as my collection goes, I think my focus is on embroidery and a lot of handwork. So for instance, this is one of the examples that you see in front of you. This is silk, and then all this work has been done by hand. So somehow I feel that in addition to Indian clothing being all about glitz and glamour, there is an element about simplicity and color and vibrance, which I wanted to inculcate in my collection. So basically, I named it Kavya, which is a sonnet or a poem, and it's a collection of different thoughts, and you put them in words. So I have tried to kind of stay away from the glitzy part as much as possible, even though I'm not averse to it, but
Right.
I've tried to stay away from it, and then try to bring a new element, including so somehow mixing color, different kinds of color, very subtle, and embroidery to a great extent.
differentiates AZ Dental from other dental practices out there?
So we are a state-of-the-art office. We have all the specialists that come to our office, which includes the orthodontist, the periodontist, the endodontist, and of course our general doctors that have been there for 2 years. Okay. And we are a state-of-the-art office. And
great, and I hear that your patient care is just outstanding. I mean, just the service that you give to your patients that keeps them coming back again and again.
Yes, we tried to make our patients very comfortable. We have massaging chairs, we have Netflix, and we try to pamper them as much as we possibly can to make their experience a lot better.
Everyone, we have Meenu Chauhan today. She was the host of the Kids Talent Show. Hi Meenu, welcome to Women Now TV.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how about yourself?
I'm good, I'm feeling so excited.
All right, wonderful. Now tell me, you put this show together. So what did it take to put the show together?
Wow, that's a tough question. It's hard work of 2 months, prepping, taking audition, and finding the best talent to portray a theme which was Indian heritage. So It was a tough work.
Okay, and how difficult was it to bring these tiny tots together for the auditions?
Well, I'll give the credit to the parents too, to bring them to the audition, to bring them to the final day, wait, and you know what? This is an awesome platform. We work very hard. I mean, the organizer being me and the presenter being me, so I knew the kid. That gives me an edge over trying to coordinate and see where the strength lies and where the weakness is, how to get a beautiful show together.
Welcome to Women Now TV.
Thank you.
Now today you were the judge for the Kids Talent Show. How easy or difficult is it to judge the kids as opposed to judging adults?
It was actually delightful, neither easy nor difficult. I'm a grandfather, and seeing these young kids perform the way they did, it gave me total joy. So on that scale, I gave everyone 10, perfect 10. But it was also very heartening that parents are taking time to put their children through the practice and the rigor of getting that talented. It was an amazing show. I just can't tell you how delighted I am.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Shreya Kar. I'm 8 years old. Today I'm going to talk about the topic, my biggest concern for the future is. My biggest concern for the future is the ever-growing population of the world. Today, Our world's population is more than 7 billion. It is expected to reach 10 billion by 2050. I think a lot of the problems we face today is because of the population growth. Other problems like pollution, shortage of water, and living spaces also because of population growth. We are cutting hundreds of trees every day to meet the needs of people. The more people we have on Earth, the more space they need to live. Thus we are encroaching forests, and the wild animals have nowhere to go. The more people we have on Earth, the more fuel we need to burn, be it for cooking, transportation, or industries. Thus, we have more pollution because of this. We are using our natural resources to the fullest to fulfill the demands of the ever-growing population. So, if we can control our world's population, we can minimize or solve a lot of our problems.
So the festivals are right around the corner. We're always wearing what's the right outfit, what's in, what's not. So we have the specialists here today, Borrow It Bindas Divas. Let's take you there.
Hello there, Bindas Divas. Here we are again, another week, another trend. I'm Siddhi from Borrow It Bindas with your exclusive fashion tip. Today we're going to talk about festival season. Festival season is approaching and I'm so excited. With Diwali, Navratri, Dasera and Karva Chauth approaching, we are here to make you look your best this festive season. Women observing Karva Chauth should wear bridal colors and adorn themselves with henna, bangles, sindoor, a bindi and some gold jewelry. Saris, salwar kameez or lehenga cholis are the outfits of choice on this auspicious day. Black and white should be avoided. Diwali, or the Festival of Lights, should be celebrated by wearing brand new clothes. Saris and salwar kameez in fabrics like silk, velvet, chiffon, georgettes, or brocade with heavy detail work would work perfect. Fashionable colors this season are Rani pink, bright yellow, aquamarine blue, and scarlet red, as well as combining pastels with bright colors. And that's your exclusive fashion tip from us today. See you in 2 weeks.
So Manish,
Yes.
do you know what's one big mistake that a lot of parents make who have gifted kids?
They don't think about the future.
They're consumed about how we can cure the child. They spend all their money, all their earnings on trying to cure the problem they have,
Okay.
not realizing that, you know, what happens in future for that child. I mean, what happens, God forbid, if he or she doesn't get cured? I mean, how do you secure the future of a gifted child?
If you're not there.
Right, you will not be there.
Of
I mean,
course.
your kid will live much longer than you, right? And right now, you're giving everything you have to their treatment and
That's
making
right.
them, trying to make them better.
Right.
So we have Imran again with us here today, who's going to tell us what's the best approach towards gifted kids, if you have.
First of all, thank you for having me.
Thanks again.
Sure. It is very challenging for the parents, both emotionally, physically, and financially, even when they're taking care of the kids, because most of the time, energy, and finances are spent on the kids with special needs. But they need to think ahead, like what's going to be happening 10, 15, 20 years down the road. So they need to find smart ways how they should be investing for the financial security and the future of the special need kids. There are many ways you can do that. See, knowledge is power, and when used properly, can make a huge impact and can overcome any challenges. So they should be looking.
What are some of the ways?
Well, one thing they should be looking into is a special needs trust, which is in the provision by law, legally can be set up, and what you can do, because the thing is you do not want to leave assets in the special needs kids account, because if there are assets in their accounts, what happens is they do not get any federal state help. So what you do is you create a special needs trust, and you can put most of any kind of investment vehicles in it. And what those investment vehicles does is they create an income stream, and which will be able to take care of your special need child.
That's interesting,
That
right?
is. So the child actually will be taken care of
by the
Through the
special need trust.
What is
Whatever
this trust? How does it work?
It's very simple. As I said, a lot of people do not know. They do not educate themselves. They're just concerned at that moment. They're just looking at that moment. Oh, I want to take care of the kids. But what happens when they are away? So what this trust does is whatever investment vehicles you chose, this goes in the trust, but the beneficiary or the beneficiary of this trust is the child. Does not go directly to him, but goes through the trust, and that income stream directly goes to the child for taking care of his needs.
So is there some sort of like a college savings plan? I think it was 525 or something?
529. No, college saving plan is entirely different.
It is, but I'm saying similar theory, right? That you're setting up something that's going to be able to return assets or income to the child later on.
Yes, yes.
So is there there's a particular one, you mentioned the number? There's a particular plan that there was, a trust
No,
plan?
it's called a special needs trust.
That's it?
That's
Okay.
it. And
All
then
right.
in the special needs trust, you can put any vehicles in it, any investment vehicle. Most of the investment vehicles are okay with that,
Okay.
so depending upon the situation.
What are some of the other interesting and out-of-the-box ideas that you have?
Well, for the kids, what happens is like for education purposes, as we were talking about, of course, there are 529 plans, UTMA, life insurances, and all that. But what we do for our clients, for our ultra net worth clients, is see the taxes. Taxes is one thing which everybody hates. It's W-2 income or the highest income, they all hate taxes. So what happens is we put them in investment vehicles which are tax-free or give you a tax write-off, I take my word back, tax write-off, even a W-2 income, and which creates an income stream which can be used for any purposes, can be used for the kids' education, can be used for their retirement. So there are many aspects which can be used for. It's not limited to education purposes only. So there are a lot of out-of-box things which we...
And it seems like, once again, as we've talked before with you, that it's hard to separate the emotional aspect from the practical financial aspect that's there. And so in your practice, when you see your clients, how do you get them over the hump of the emotional part? It seems like you kind of do this sort of therapy counseling into, this is what you have to do. And
because end of the day, I think all parents think that, oh, my child will be fine and, he's going to get cured completely. They don't plan for the future way ahead. I mean, they think the kid is going to go earn money and secure his or her future.
It is a very interesting point you brought it up, because when we're sitting with the client on the other side of the table and we're talking numbers, it's not only the kids thing, but when most of the couples we talk to, they are taking home $800,000-900,000 of income home. But end of the day, they're not saving a single penny. And when we sit down and we kind of budget it out and say, okay, where this money is going, and they're like, this is like an eye-opener for them. Like, wow, we're spending so much money here and there, and we are not channelizing towards our kids or our retirement or things like that. So it's just an eye-opener. And so it keeps coming in, but it keeps going out the back door. So they need to be planning for those things.
And
my thing is, until you see a planner, you never know what is your in and out.
That's right.
You don't pay attention to that. So it's always good to kind of, it's like therapy. I mean, it's not a disease, but it's some help.
Yeah, it is. And in this case, you're talking about a topic that has a huge emotional burden and a huge emotional impact on the people involved. And so you're so consumed, like you mentioned, in trying to look after the well-being of the child. And then on the other hand, you're not thinking about, well, what happens if I'm not here today? What's going to happen to this child tomorrow?
Well, that was a good thing, the trust.
Right, and see, that's the point I want to emphasize on too, is most of the people, they keep saving money in the child's name. Or they keep, oh my God, this is my child, I'll transfer my assets to him. That might not be the right thing to do. Because as I said, if the kids have assets in their accounts, they will not be qualifying for any federal state help. So what you need to do is, this is a very simple and easy process. Create a simple special needs trust and find whatever is suitable for you, the investment vehicle which goes in there, and then create an income stream for your kid in the future when you're not there.
It's a very
simple
good point.
And straight.
Very good point. Thank you so much for sharing your insight with us.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next time and talk about another important topic for us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Wasn't that a fantastic delight to watch all the performances, Colors of India? That's all we could fit in today's show. Next week, we're going to bring you some more interviews, some more color, and some more performances and showcases. Don't forget to tune in then. Women Now, same time, same place.